Welcome to another live stream with Will Make a Way. And tonight we're gonna see if the earth, if it's flat or if it's around. We got Duce with us. He's gonna present the what he would call the facts to see that the earth is flat. It's not round. We're not on the ball. He say we on a dinner plate. It's a frisbee. I don't know where the sun at. I don't know where the moon at. Everything flat. So we're going to get into it and we're going to see what's going on. And comment, like, subscribe. If you're in the chat, if you're on a replay, leave a comment. Put 1 if you think the earth is flat. 2 if you think it's round. But we're going to go ahead and get into this. Thank you for joining. How we doing this evening, Mr. Duce?
What's going on, brother?
Everything's going good. Now, we've seen a lot of flat earth talk on YouTube and all over. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really sure what to make of it. As of right now, I can go off just what I've been taught, in school. They say, it's round and, we circling around the sun and the sun stays in the middle of the, what you would call it? I'm sure you could break down. I guess I'm gonna call it space in the middle of everything that's orbiting around. So without further ado, to the people looking, we're gonna let Duce get into it and break it down and let us know why or how is the earth flat. All right,
man. First off, make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the video. First off, what is your understanding of what's your basic understanding of where we live on the earth?
On the earth.
In this universe, I guess you could say. What have you learned?
Well, what I've learned is that we all been told, the earth is round from far as I know. And that we're I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 20,000 miles from the sun.
Is it round or is it a globe or a sphere? I need you to be specific with your vocabulary and terminology here, because this is going to be we'll have to be very specific about the way we speak.
Well, all those 3 things, they're not synonymous. They're not round, sphere, globe.
No.
Well, see, I'm learning something new. I thought, from when I coming up in class, when I went and spit in the globe, the big wooden crate thing in school, it was round,
right?
Or spear shaped. I guess you can say that.
So,
right.
What's the difference between something that's round and something that's a sphere?
Well, I guess round maybe could be maybe a quarter is flat, but it's round, right?
It's round, right?
Right.
A sphere is more like a basketball.
Yeah, like a basketball.
But it's round and it's a sphere. That's what you got to understand. That's what we're gonna break down. We're gonna break down all that stuff.
Okay.
So they told us we live on a spinning ball. Hold on. They tell us we live on a spinning ball. That's. Hold on.
So yeah, they tell us.
Let me get my screen when you're ready.
All right, as soon as I see it in the back, we're gonna pull it up. And I got questions too, but I ain't gonna rush into it. I'm gonna take it step by step.
No. We're gonna go steady on this.
Okay. So we're gonna see what you got. What you got for us, brother?
All right. So this is what's going on according to the actual what we all been taught, right?
Right.
We're in a spinning globe in the middle of space, in an abyss.
Yeah,
right?
An abyss. Eternal darkness, blackness,
gravity. No
right.
Gravity. We're in space. You know what I'm saying? We're spinning. According to Google, we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour a day. 1 hour, a 24-hour day. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
Right.
So that's 1,000 miles is an hour. That's we got 24 hours in a day. So we spinning it. A day takes is 24,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, if you calculate, if you add it together, I see that logic.
Right. So we're also
but we doing that while while it's flat.
no. I'm gonna teach you the what we learn first.
Okay. How long does it take for Earth to get around the sun?
300. So we're not only spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. You know how fast 80 miles an hour is in the car?
Yeah, I know how fast it is.
You know how fast 130 miles an hour is in the car?
I can imagine, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can. You do. So just imagine. You know how fast you travel in a plane? That's about 400 or 500 miles an hour.
Yeah, about 500 miles an hour.
So imagine double that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 1,000 miles an hour we're spinning in a day.
Go ahead.
So while we're doing that 1,000-hour spin, we also traveling around the sun. It takes 365 days, 6 hours and 9 minutes for one full revolution around the sun, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's what we've been taught. We living in space. We spinning around the sun, and the whole we spinning around everything pretty much, right?
Yeah. And I can't remember all the other planets named Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, all that. But they're doing the same thing. It's all
they're basically doing the same thing, right?
Right.
I want to look at one more thing. We're going to be patient.
Okay.
So we traveling. This is what I want to look. We also are traveling at 67,000 miles an hour. While we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
Right. I understand.
So the 1,000 miles an hour is actually what the Earth is spinning on itself. But we're traveling at 67,000 miles an hour.
You talking about the orbital thing?
The orbit. That's how fast our Earth is moving around the sun.
Right.
67,000 miles an hour.
Uh-huh.
Now, a lot of us don't know some of this. I'm gonna put out some of this basic information so before we get into because we ain't even got started yet.
Yeah, I want to know how I get like a pancake, or how is it like a pancake?
I want to know if you have visual aids. I'm visual.
There you go, Rush Truth. Visual aids.
Don't worry about. I got all that.
Cause we want to make sure we ain't just looking up lies.
No, we ain't looking up. I'm googling. We looking up all the facts. So,
okay.
Let me build my case. So, this is how far. A lot of people don't know this. Now, if I was to ask you this before I pull this up, you wouldn't know how far the moon is from the sun, from the Earth.
No, go ahead.
But the moon is 240,000 miles away.
Uh-huh.
But we can see stuff on the moon like this. If you got a nice telescope, so you're telling me your telescope can see this far away?
Right? Well, it's like a Hubble telescope. Want to go ahead, Rush?
I know. I was about to say you could. I bought a little cheap telescope from Bed Bath & Beyond a few years ago, and I was able to see some craters.
So your little cheap Bed & Beyond telescope can see 240,000 miles away, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah, she said she's seen it, man.
But we're actually 93 million. 93 million. How are we 93 million miles away from an object? But this summer, I felt the sun right on top of my back, burning my scalp and my bald head.
Well, that's the sun. You were just talking about the moon, though. It's two different distances.
I understand that. But I want you to. I gotta break. I need you to understand the distances and the geometry and the physics of what they're telling us we're living in before I get into the lesson here.
Okay.
So we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, right?
Yes, sir.
While we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, we also orbiting at night. We're orbiting around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, right?
Uh-huh.
That orbit from the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, we're 93 million miles away.
Go ahead.
Not 1,000, not 100,000, not a million. We 93 million miles away from the sun. But tell me why the sun feels like it's right on top of your head.
Because it's in the middle of but it so-called from what we told. It's in the middle of everything. So no matter where we move, it's always tracking. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Kind of like a wheel on the car. You know what the hub is will be the center of the wheel. But that G that's on your tire for Goodyear, it's gonna spin around our hub. The hub ain't going nowhere, but the G is going all around the hub for Goodyear.
I got that. We're going around the sun, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So we're going around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and we 93 million miles away from the sun. Right?
Right.
This, according to this, the sun is 864,000 miles across. So I want you to understand some of these numbers.
I understand the numbers, but I guess I'm just so excited about the flat part. So you're saying
we're gonna get there. I need you to look at some of this stuff. Hold on.
All right. Well, one moment, we can't forget about the people that's looking. You got anything to say about, you got somebody in the chat saying, but I can go ahead.
Go ahead. This is
but I can see the moon with my own eyes from here. So yes,
right.
She saw the moon in the telescope. It's possible.
This is how big the Earth is. I don't know if you can see my mouse. This is how big the Earth is compared to the sun.
No, we can't see no mouse. But we see the picture you got up here.
The one from the fourth one over is the Earth.
Right, the blue ball.
Yeah, the one to the left of the blue ball.
Go ahead.
That is the Earth, the size of the Earth compared to the sun. Okay.
Okay, I understand that. The sun is real big now. That's why you can feel that heat.
That's why you can feel the heat.
It's gases.
It's gases coming out. This is how big. Look how big the sun is. It's freaking humongous, right? These are your other planets: Neptune, Jupiter, Pluto, all that.
Right.
Okay. Now, this is what we've been taught in school. This is what they've been teaching us. But what did the ancients know? What did people before us? What was they understanding about the Earth?
Well, that's what we don't know. Well, at least I don't know. I'm willing to say that they probably was going to say it was flat because they didn't have all the telescopes and everything and space shuttles and spaceships and Elon Musk SpaceX. So they probably just pictured it in their mind as they see it in front of their face. They go outside, everything flat. So they probably figure, well, everything flat because, I don't have a Hubble telescope right now.
They just going off of what they're seeing.
Yeah, in front of their face. There you go.
All right, hold on. There's going to be a lot of presentation here going on. Let me go to my next screen.
No problem. Rush of Truth, you got anything so far about what he's saying? Like you say, we want to see what you said, like documentation.
Yeah. Visual aids. I mean, I think we can all agree that stuff that we were taught in school, like now that we're a lot older and social media has exploded to the magnitude that it has, we have a lot more information at our fingertips than we did before. So, right. And there's also, of course, the huge, I'm not going to say possibility, but we can also say that we've been lied to on a few things, from history to, math and of course science, on, how certain things, I mean, I've heard situations where when it comes to the Bible, history, and science, that a lot of this stuff was just covered up because they didn't want us to know certain things. There were certain things that they didn't want us to have access to. Um, and of course, I'm sure Duce is going to show in a little bit portions of the Bible to back up his presentation. So there's also things of like that were even in the Bible things that were overlooked or not given enough attention to in regards to, you know, stuff that we're just now as adults um figuring out or putting together.
Right.
So I mean, I'm open minded about it. You go back and you see some stuff and you do some more digging and you got actual people out there like putting the evidence out on display.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, it's I think it's very possible.
All right,
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
back to my screen.
All right.
So we make a way.
Go ahead.
Do you know the Earth's curvature?
Round.
Do you know the actual math in that?
No, hell no.
So the math in that, hold on. So basically, according to this chart here,
Mm-hmm.
accurately calculate the curvature you are supposed to see on the ball Earth, right? So for every mile is 0.67 feet, so a little over half a foot for every mile in distance. There should be a little bit of a curve every so 2 miles is 2.67 feet. That is the curvature of the ball we living on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at 100 miles, there should be 6,668 feet. At 100 miles. So if you just standing on the Earth and you looking straight at 100, and let's just say you can hypothetically you can't see 100 miles. If you can see it for 100 miles, there should be 6,668 feet of a drop off. If you
But you're saying that we don't see no drop off.
Hey, let me do my presentation.
Oh, okay.
Let me do my presentation. All right.
All right.
Let me do my presentation. So that is the actual math in the ball of the Earth. So for every mile, it's like so for every mile is 0.67 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So a little over half of a foot. Now, let's go to. Let me cut this off. Cut that off. Let's go to what the Bible say. Let's go to what the books say. The good books.
Okay.
Let's go to the good books. It should have been switched.
It's up. There you go.
Oh, so let's go with the good old Bible say. Can I move that? No, I can't. In the beginning, what with
The heavens and the earth.
God created the heavens and the earth, right?
Right. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters.
So before you go to the verse 3, hey, I'm not making none of this up. This is what the good books say.
Go ahead.
Now, read the first part one more time. In the beginning, what?
God created the heavens and the earth.
But
now, go ahead.
What don't you see created yet?
The heavens and the earth. What, space?
Let's keep reading. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. So let's just try to break this down. What are we talking about here? First off, according to the first verse, the earth was created first, and it was dark.
Go ahead.
According to what we learned, which is the Big Bang Theory, it was a Big Bang, all the planets, all the suns, all that just, split, busted out, right? And over time, the earth was spinning, it cooled off. It was hot lava, then it cooled off. and then it turned into the earth and atmosphere and all that, right? But
Right.
according to the good book, the earth was already here and it was dark. So let's go to verse 3.
Well, you said the Big Bang and all that splat out. Well, how come the book just focusing on Earth if it's so much other rocks that came out there?
Let's keep reading. That's a dang old good question, right?
Yeah, and does that say it was flat? Or are you saying because it says above and beyond?
Now,
Go ahead.
okay, so with the heavens portion of it, typically, and you also got to remember, you just reading a certain um what's the translation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's other books and such that you go along with it. You have the Torah,
Which one you want to see?
and no, I'm not saying that. I'm just you had your little moment, let me have mine. My goodness.
Yeah, go ahead, Rush.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, like, when you look, just because it says the heavens, that doesn't just mean heaven itself, but a lot of you think of a lot of places or a lot of people or books refer to the heavens as space itself. So, not saying that the stars, because I know that comes later when he says, "Let there be light," but the heavens could be meaning the galaxies, things that we don't see.
I can understand that logic.
So, but go ahead, Duce. I know you got the screen.
All right. Verse 3. I have to go through all this so I can break down what I got for you later on. I have to give you we can't skip from A to F. I got to give you A, B, C first. All right?
Go ahead.
And in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Now, where water come from? But I'm gonna keep going. We ain't gonna break. We're gonna wait on that first. Verse 3. And then God said, "Let there be light." So according to this, it was in the beginning God created the earth. Then He created the sun, which, according to science, don't make no sense, right?
According to science. Oh, repeat that one more time. What you said?
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth first. Which one is first? The earth, right?
The heavens and the earth.
And the earth, right? Then you go to verse 3. And then God said, "Let there be light," which is the sun. So according to the Bible, God created the earth first before the sun, which is the exact opposite of science.
Right?
So let's break that. Let's just roll with me for a minute. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God said the light was good. God said the light was good. So, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night, right? And there was evening and there was morning. So evening, morning, sun up, sun down. Sun up, sun down, right? Verse 6. And God said, "Let there be a vault to separate water." So where is this water coming from? Why is the Bible talking about water when we're supposed to have space in a vacuum?
Well, because with that space and vacuum term that you're using, that's science.
So which one is more valid, the science or what the books say, and the ancients in ancient scripture say?
Well, that's a mystery to be determined. That that's a whole another rabbit hole, maybe.
So you don't know?
No, I'm not claiming to know. No, I don't know.
So I'm just giving the information that came before the science. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So verse 6. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate the water from the water." So I can't pull this up right now, but there are videos of showing. Do you know what the NASA? You know NASA?
Yeah, I know NASA.
Right? You know what the ISIS? ISIS?
Yeah, it's the terrorist group.
Telescope.
No, it's not. It's not the telescope. It's not. It's neither. It's none of that. ISIS is the space. What is it? Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
It's a basically when they go up in space and they live in that space pretty much.
Oh, a space station.
It's the space
Talking about
station.
this.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Hold on, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't come up with that. Yeah. So there are videos with them, doing work around the ISIS space station. They up there doing their thing. They in the spacesuits, blah blah blah, and you see bubbles coming up from their spacesuit. Now, where the heck bubbles come from in a vacuum? Which I think is all fake anyway. So, but whatever. I really think they in a pool in water. They just CGI and all that crap. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you think?
that's what I'm pretty sure of.
And I got questions about that, but go ahead with the
Right.
I'm waiting till we get to the flat part so we can steamroll.
I got to build up to it. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate the water from the water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky. And there was evening and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and gathered the waters, and called it seas. And God saw that it was good. God said it's all good. Right?
Continue.
So, according to all this don't make no sense at all. From what we have learned, this don't make no sense. They're talking about water and a vault, and it don't make no sense. But if you think about if you think about the earth in a different way, which is we're living on a flat plane that don't move, we're not moving, but everything is going around us. And I know it's crazy as this sounds. You got to understand certain premises before I can even divulge this information. You got to understand first off that what the world we live in they are completely lying about everything. I hate to say this. I mean, when I say everything, I mean vice versa. Like Pastor Troy, vice versa.
So you're saying we just floating, just not moving,
we're not moving. We're not floating. We're not floating. I see the best way for me to for you to understand, we live on like a video game stage. We live on a stage. We live on a level.
So
this level can go infinite that way and go infinite that way. I don't know past our realm. We live in a realm. We don't live in what you think we live in. Go ahead.
But you agree there's space.
There is space, but not like you think it's space.
So, but when you say we just floating, well, you say we're not floating. So we're resting on something?
We're not moving. We're not moving. So let me go to one more place real quick.
But what I'm saying is, we just in the emptiness. I mean, like if we're not floating and we're not moving, we stationary. But what's propping it up or whatever? The flatness.
Go to my screen. I gotta break down some more history before we can get to that. According to the Psalms 104:5, He set the earth on its foundations, and it can never be moved. Right? So the good book is saying we're not moving. But according to science, it's saying we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Not only are we spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour, and we going 67,000 miles an hour at the same time. That's like millions of miles an hour, pretty much. If you most. All right. Hold on.
Well, they took so what we were told, instrumentation out there to get these measurements.
Allegedly. I don't know. Have you been out there to see? Have you seen the Earth?
That's one thing I was gonna say. I mean, all we can go off of what people that's in these or privy to these machines and money to go out there to so-called tell us what's going on. Otherwise, most of the population of the entire Earth, not just the United States, would never know what's going on because.
And that's a part of the whole scam. That's a part of the whole scam. So I can wake y'all up from the sleep. First Chronicles 16:30.
But you got
Tremble.
you gonna take the trip? Go ahead.
First Chronicles 16:30. Tremble before him all the earth. The world is firmly established. Firmly established. It cannot be moved. It cannot be moved. When the earth and all its people quake, it is I who hold it. Pillars. What a lot of this stuff, man, you got to think outside the box. You can't be thinking in a box with all the stuff you learn. You got to completely think out the box. Right?
Go ahead.
So, according to the multiple scriptures, we're not moving. We're on an immovable, fixed earth. Right? So, this is what I think we live on. This is what I think what's going on right here.
Oh, okay.
This is the model. This is the model. So, this guy right here is called Orlando Ferguson. This map right here is from 1893. And he came up with this model. This is a model. I don't know. This is a model.
And nothing wrong with the model. Go ahead.
So according to the Bible, you got your 4 angels in the corner. Got your 4 angels, right? On a fixed immovable plane. You know, you got United States, South America. What we think of as Antarctica and the South and North Pole. This is the North Pole. All right, let me get off that. This is the North Pole in the middle. In the South Pole, is Antarctica. Antarctica is that ring going around us. Right? So it's a completely different paradigm for what we thinking in. The sun and the moon, the sun is not 93 million damn miles away. So it's literally right on top of us, and it's way smaller. So you scale the sun and the moon down, and you bring them down closer. The earth ain't moving, and the sun and the moon is moving around us.
So you're saying on top, in the middle of that picture, that's what the sun would be?
This, you see, damn, can you see my arm? This is the sun, and it's that small.
But it's over there. That's not the middle. I'm just asking, man.
I'm trying. All right. So it's in your head when you seeing this, like make it like 3D and it's moving in your head. Okay. So the sun is spinning around in a circle. The moon. This is the moon.
I got you.
This is the sun, and they are spinning around this plane. So I think we live on a plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is us. Specifically, this is us right here. So you got Australia. It's Australia over here. You got Asia and Europe in the back over here. You got what you call Africa over here. And what we think is at the bottom of the earth is actually Antarctica going around the whole plane. So it's a completely different system of what we thinking of. We floating in space. You can't overlap both of the systems. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. You have to think of them as completely different. Go ahead.
So there is no space.
What we think of a space, according to the book, is water.
Water. So when we look up, it's a bunch of water.
Hey, the sky is blue, ain't it?
It's blue. I don't deny that.
You ever asked the question, why is the sky blue?
Yeah, I have asked that question, but you know, who knows?
Maybe it's because it's water blue. Maybe because the water is blue.
So, are we in the water, or I mean, do you believe in gravity?
Gravity is buoyancy. So the way I explain gravity, you know, when you take a ball, an inflated basketball,
right,
and you try to push it down like a pool of water.
Yeah, it's gonna come right back up.
It pushes. So that force is what you call buoyancy, and that explains gravity. So what we think is how the way that science explains gravity is, they say it's a force pulling towards the earth. So if you take an apple and drop it, it pulls down. Why they say why does it drop down? Because of the gravity. It's because of the mass of the earth pulls objects towards it, pretty much. That is gravity. But on this model, gravity is explained as buoyancy, which is the same thing what I just explained to you. When you try to take a basketball and you push it down in the water and the shit bounce back up. It's you got to literally press it down. It don't work like that.
And that's how the water stand on top of us.
That's how the water stand on top of us.
And are we breathing air since there's water on top?
Yeah. We're basically in a snow globe. We're in a bubble. We're in an air bubble with land, animals, and all that. Seas, and a giant bubble. I want to minimize it. It's a huge big bubble now. Don't get it twisted. But in the big picture of things, we're basically in a bubble. So this is where you exist. Your soul, your life. This is where you're born and where you're gonna die. This is you're in a bubble in a realm.
So you're only telling me that the sun and the moon is there because we can actually see it and feel it when we go outside, but the other planets is just made up because we can't actually physically see those.
No, so that goes back. We got to go back to the book. Better go back to the book. What the book say? Let's go back to what the book say, right? The book say, and God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky." So basically, when you're reading this, I want you to picture this in your head. I want you to picture this. I'm sorry, I got to switch my screen. I want you to picture this in your head while you're reading this. So, in the book, God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years." So basically, what that means is that's just your constellations, your stars. What we think of as stars that are trillions and millions of miles away, they are basically on top of this. So when you see this, I want you to picture like a dome, like a snow globe around it. So if you picture a glass dome just sitting on top of this, what you're looking at right here, that is what you call the firmament, or in the Bible, which is called the vault.
So we trapped.
We in a bubble, bro.
And you can't tell me what's beyond.
That's flat Earth level 2. I gotta explain flat Earth level 1 so you can understand this first. I can explain that, but you have to understand this first. I know it sounds crazy. Again, I know it sounds crazy, and like I said, I need people to have an open mind. This is down the rabbit hole day.
Before we get too far, Rush the Truth, you still with us? Is your mind blown?
I'm listening. I'm here.
So what you think?
I mean, like I said, I'm open to it. I've seen some videos and passing along. I mean, you've been, of course, digging into this stuff a whole lot more than me. I'll just come across a few articles and a few videos every now and then.
Right.
But I mean, like I've seen what is it? The illustrations, not like the one that you've shown, but more so, like you said, like a snow globe type of demonstration. So, I mean, like, shoot, you could even go as far as to say, like, even Hollywood has even disclosed some of this stuff to us when they've shown us these sci-fi films or Jurassic Park and, things like Jurassic Park or what was it, King Kong. Like, all of a sudden, like, you just fall down this other hole and then you just enter into a different timeline, prehistoric type of stuff. I know that's that's probably a little further out than what you're talking about with your flat earth thing, but I think they've been hinting or disclosing some of it right under our noses and just filming it as sci-fi, because what was it about Antarctica? There was like an explorer that because Antarctica is it's uncharted territory, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the reasons why you they're keeping that cut off from everybody because it lets too much of the truth out.
All right. So let's go on one more thing. Before I go further.
Well, my big question, maybe I'm jumping the gun by asking this question.
Go ahead.
Why the deception? Would the shape of the earth, or what anybody perceive the shape of the earth, be changed your day-to-day life? I mean, whether it's flat, round, triangle, octagon, stop sign. Why would we need to be deceived of a shape of something? Or a location or whatever?
That's a good question. That's a damn good question. Why would NASA go out of their way to fake space and to fake moon landings? Or allegedly
Well,
fake?
I mean, well, I would say if they, the whole faking of that is because that was a race.
Hold on. So
So,
do you believe we went to the moon or not? Make a way. Do you believe we went to the moon? True. Do you believe? I need to know y'all stance first. Do you believe humans step foot on
well,
the
I
moon?
mean, you even had what's his name, Buzz, who supposedly first foot on the moon. He even came out a couple of years ago and said that it was fake.
Well, I believe they showed us that we went to the moon.
So you believe what you saw?
I guess at the time, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard pretty stories over the years about it was fake moon landing. My question is, because I did question before, well, how come we never went back?
So
if
you
that was the
believe
case.
You believe I don't know if you can see my screen. So you believe all this right here?
Well, that's a satellite right there.
No, this is the
Space station?
Space station.
Okay. So I mean, I guess I believe space stations. Well, that could be another lie, but I believe NASA has live feeds from the space station to show people in there floating. They even do interviews from the so-called space station.
Right.
So
you see them floating in the space station, right?
Right.
Well, I've also seen where, again, this is just videos in passing, but I've seen where they did that stuff on green screen. I'm talking about modern day, not back, before CGI and all of that. But I've seen it to where they actually had like an astronaut showing that she was, I think, she was pouring something out of a cup or something, and it wasn't necessary. It wasn't a liquid, but they showed how it was a green screen. You know how you got the was it the motion capture, or
Right.
the actors, or in the green suits, and they showed that. Um, they showed how that was fake. I don't know when that supposed mission took place. I mean, they're even, what was it that what was it? It was like in the 90s where astronauts, and they had that one teacher that she like won a lottery or whatever like that to go into space, and then of course the rocket exploded, and supposedly like all of them died.
Was that the
And
Challenger?
then,
That was a
was
challenge.
it the Challenger? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
the Challenger. So, and then all of them died. Well, then someone found that was a lie, and they're all alive and living well and teaching at universities and whatever like that. So, we all grew up learning the same thing, opposite of the whole flat Earth thing, but we all grew up learning the same thing. So it can probably be a little difficult for people to swallow that pill and admit that it's been a lie the whole time. But again, I mean, there's always a possibility that something was covered up. Why? Who knows? Maybe there was some ancient civilization out there, and they drew up a truce or treaty and was like, all right, well, we'll keep our civilization here and y'all can have this. Who knows?
Right.
So William,
Go ahead.
this is the people. This is the astronauts from the Challenger mission, right?
Right.
So would you believe me if I told you most of these people are pretty much alive?
Uh, I don't know if believe is the right word. Well, okay. If I had to answer, I'll say straight up no from history, because we have actual.
So they allegedly blew up in the,
Yeah, we have alleged video of them blowing up.
Okay. So all right. So we got to lay out all this stuff. We got to lay out all this before we can listen. We ain't even got it. Listen, we ain't even got it. This is the challenge blowing up, right?
But that doesn't determine
Why
whether
would
it's flat around.
Yes, it does, because why would they go out of their way to fake look at the name. Do you even understand the names, how they name the space shuttles?
I'm not that deep into it.
See, we're about to get into it then.
No, not that deep into it now.
We got to go in. I know you ain't gonna go there, but I am. I need you to understand. We got to understand certain things before we can get to other places. So you got the Columbia. You got the Columbia. These are all different. Where my picture at?
We see
These are all your space shuttles right here. Look how they named them: Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, Endeavor. All these names of these space shuttles got names. They got meaning, I should say.
Well, going out of space is an endeavor.
It is endeavor.
And it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And you're going to discover stuff.
You're going to discover, and you might discover what? Atlantis.
Maybe.
What's another Columbia? What's another name that's used as Columbia that when you watch movies?
You got me on that one.
What's the lady that hold her hand up with the thing with the before the movie start? You see the lady holding up look like Statue of Liberty.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called.
All this is connected. We got to break down a lot of this stuff.
But
what does this have to do with
the flatness?
I'm getting there. Columbia. All right. We got to understand all this stuff go together. So, all right, let's get into it. I know you itching. Let's get off all this crap. Right? So, where my screen at? All right.
Yeah. And
so now,
go ahead.
So if we was on a ball, so if you was like a miniature person standing on a basketball, right? A spherical basketball, which would simulate the Earth.
Right.
How high off of that basketball would you have to see? Would you have to get off of it? Let's just say you were like an ant on that ball, or even smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on that basketball. How high off of that ball you think you have to get before you start to see it's actually curving and it's a ball?
Real high.
How high?
I can't give you a measurement, but in order for me, I guess so-called space high.
Right.
Then you might get so high, kind of like in an airplane, where you're so high you can't tell what's going on because you can't see nothing now. You feel me?
Right. So let's go to this. Let's go to my next screen. So this right here is a video of the Earth. I actually don't know how high it is. I wish I did, but let's just watch this video.
Hello.
I don't need to hear all that crap music. So basically, this is a balloon. Like, how high do you have to go up? Do you see the line on this? I wish you could show my freaking mouse, but you can't.
Yeah, I can see your mouse.
Okay. How high do you... So, if you were just looking at this right here, and you didn't know nothing about space, Earth, and moon, none of that, and they say, okay, this is sun. This is our sun. This is our star, what they call them. The sun is actually not a star. Where does that look like it is?
I mean,
if you didn't know nothing, if you're just looking at it, does it look like it's okay? It's at a distance. You know, it's like it could be hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away, millions of miles away. It's that big. Or I want to know what your perception is when you're looking at this image right here.
well,
Or does it look like it's literally right on top of this land we own?
well, it looked like it's above whatever that I guess that line in the middle.
That line in the middle is called a horizon.
Yeah.
So
Like I mean, it's on top of it.
So it look like it's right there on top of it. It don't look like it's millions of miles away. It look like like when you're in a car, you see the sun reflecting off of the window.
Yeah, but it's so bright we can't really make out what's going on because of the glare.
Right. But basically, so right now, this is an image. This is a camera on a balloon. This is a video camera on a balloon. It's got to be over couple 100,000 feet in the sky. I ain't gonna say air because at this point it's pretty much in space, or what we think is space.
So it went above that water you were talking about.
We're not even the sun and the moon is inside of this.
Oh, okay.
We can't even get. We not getting nowhere near close to no dome to what we call the firmament, or what the Bible refers to as the vaults. Or just for a quick reference, hold on, where I'm at. On my screen at. What for the Bible? Just for quick reference, the vault or the firmament or the dome will be even above what you're looking at right now. So you're not even nowhere near close to all that.
Okay.
So, they put a freaking balloon this high up in the sky, and if you took a ruler, if you pause this video and you take a ruler and put it across the screen, it's gonna be pretty much horizontally, pretty much as level as you can get, right? So,
well, I don't know if we can get a wide enough shot of a balloon to go up that high enough to see if it was so-called curving. I mean, you had to be way up there. I mean, to fit it all in one frame.
And therein lies the problem. How high do you have to go?
Or how big of a camera you need?
Again, this is pretty much as high as you can get as far as when you see the space station and all that. The sun is right there on top of us, believe it or not. Just like that model I showed you. And it is spinning. It is going, not spinning, but it is going around what we call our Earth. It is going around us. The moon and the sun are eccentric around us. Right?
Right.
So, I got one more. I got another. You see my screen? Okay, yeah, we good. So, this right here is a... Hold on. A damn commercial came up. So, what you're looking at right now... What you're looking at right now is this is an infrared camera. So an infrared camera can see when when you're using a regular camera, all the light and the color and all that distorts the image. An infrared camera pretty much can see. It's like almost like an X-ray image. And this is in an airplane. Airplanes fly about 30, 40,000 feet in the air. But what I want you to understand is it just showed Lake Michigan. So it's showing distances that we shouldn't see.
I'm trying to make out what I'm looking at.
So this is Michigan.
A lake, right?
A lake. So, in this image right here is showing you where the plane is. It's showing you where the plane is. You see the plane? I'll just kind of skip it up a little bit because I don't want this to go. Let me So it's showing basically you seeing stuff you shouldn't see if you were if we were on a globe at these distances. Because according to the stuff I just showed you,
But looks like a cloud straight ahead, and further down is land, right? Is
that's
that a
land. That's land down there. But what I'm saying is, what you're looking at should be under curvature of the Earth, of the ball Earth.
Yeah,
according to the math I just explained to you at the beginning.
But I understand what you're saying, but I think that comes down to the technology being used to bring us this image.
It ain't about the technology.
Because you only can fit so much into the frame. And if it's so big, if something's so big, you can't fit it all into the camera to see, or at least enough of it into the camera. Does it make sense what I'm trying to say?
It does make sense, but what I'm trying to explain to you, it's not even about the technology and what you can see. It's about the math. So according to the math, there's a certain curvature. There's a math to the curvature. And it's 8 inches per square mile. That is the actual math. So
okay.
So every mile is 8 inches of curvature.
Uh-huh.
So it's a curve, you know what I'm saying? It's not flat. I'm going according to what they teach us, what they telling us.
So every mile we go is it's another 8-inch curve. I mean,
it should be so much curvature.
If I drive
so often.
So you saying when I drive down the road 8 miles or whatever, I drive down the road a mile, I done went over an 8-inch curve.
No. That ain't exact math. Hold on. I forget the exact equation. But basically, there's an equation to curvature, if you understand what I'm telling you. If the Earth is a ball, a globe, like a basketball, what they teach us, it has curvature. Do you understand?
So are you talking about in the reference of a plane, an airplane, flying an airplane, and you see a sense of a curvature? Because it's not going to be just flat. You know, there's going to be some type of...
There should be some kind of curvature at a height.
But that's what I'm saying with the airplane.
Yeah, once you go so high up, there should be a curvature.
It should be, but it's a... I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's a tipping point where you get so high where you can't even see what you're trying to see. You just see a whole bunch of land patches and squares, then you get way up there above the clouds and nothing.
I'm trying to find out. How long.
Well,
go ahead.
Let me propose this to you while you're doing that. Maybe, you know, I understand we got science, and science is only, when it comes to certain stuff, is only hypothesis, kind of like how we got here today, right? I don't think they can say for sure this is what happened, whether it's Bible, whether it's Big Bang, whether it's atoms, whether it's neutrons. We got hypotheses. Maybe this whether the Earth being flat, round, wherever it is, or however it's shaped, or wherever it's placed, wasn't meant for us to understand. Maybe this Bible guy you've been reading about in the Bible and God and all that, right? Maybe that's God knowledge. Maybe, you know, you're here for a function to do whatever you're doing day to day. You're not here to worry about or to understand. I mean, we could try, and we all try. That's what we're trying to do right now in scientists, but I don't know. Could it be a point where we, you know, I hate to say it, we ain't gonna know. We can't figure it out. All we can do is have these hypotheses and these talks and these scientific guesses.
No, I don't believe none of that. What you just
okay.
Said. I don't believe none of that. I believe in the Bible. It's telling you right here. It's telling you right here. The earth can't move. It's telling you what it is. You just don't want to. You got to have a mind to understand it. That's part of a lot of this stuff, man. Yeah, you can just be oblivious and be ignorant is the word I'm looking for. You can be ignorant all you want to.
Okay.
But you can have the knowledge. Do you know the compression of a 350 engine?
I mean, but that's assembled by man. Space and all that stuff wasn't.
That's true, but there are certain
So we
tools.
can reverse engineer something that a man made.
Yeah, that's true. But where's the point in between? Okay, we know this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a point you go to where is, okay, we probably don't know, then we just completely don't know. So how far do you go to where you know what I'm saying? You know and you don't know. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is you know.
Yeah, that's just my thinking now. I'm not saying I'm right.
I can only show you. I don't know what else I can show you to prove it to you, other than I'm showing you videos of balloons.
But don't get it mistaken. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying
I'm not.
I mean, I don't know myself. All I know is from what's been programmed since you was in, I don't know, elementary or whatever. But I don't really know. It could be flat. I mean, because when you travel the world, and maybe the globe is so big you can't tell. But if you get in the car and drive from one coast to the another, maybe that's not far enough. But you can't drive from a country to a country because there's all water in between. But at least driving across America, you don't tell nothing.
So I want you to look at this. You see that mile? That's your favorite thing right there, right? What? On the left.
Yeah, you know, my boy should have stayed because he getting bad luck now. But go ahead.
So what you looking at where it says Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
That's 500 miles. In the middle, Lake Winnebago is 400 miles from where this plane is. They in a plane, in an airplane flying. They just flying, going where they going. But he got an infrared camera looking out the window. And I
understand.
You should not be able to see that far.
So you're saying he's seeing further than he should be because he got the infrared camera?
No, he's seeing further than he should be because the Earth is flat. That's what I'm trying to say. So it said 500 miles just now, right?
Uh-huh.
So let's do this.
So somebody with 20/20 vision, even if you got on glasses, what's the normal range for a person to see down a road or whatever? If it's a clear path, no buildings obstructing the way. If you're on a desert, how far can a person see? Well, how would you estimate that to be? What, 10 miles?
Hey, let's put this in right here before we do anything. Hold on. Share this tab instead. Let me do this. So from that plane just now, it just said 500 miles, right? So what that's saying is there should be 31 miles of curvature. So that means it should be 166,000 feet of curvature. So you should not be able to see that far according to the globe model. That's what I'm trying to explain. So
right.
Do you know how far 31 miles of? Just imagine if you were standing on top of a building that was 31 miles tall.
You'd be way up in the sky.
Yeah, but that's how much drop off it should be if the Earth was a ball. But when you go to this video right here, you can see 500 miles. What I'm saying is when you see Green Bay right there, it should be dropped off. It should be 31 miles under the curvature of the Earth.
So,
according to the math.
So, with that, can you see a little horizon in that clip you got there, kind of like in the middle?
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
So that couldn't be a curve down.
No, it's not. That's just the camera can't see that far.
So how do you know if it's curved down or not if we can't see that far, even with that camera? That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's further than the eyes or any technology right now can reach, unless we go into so-called space and back all the way to hell up.
So you're completely right on that. So this is the other model I have. So you got three models. We live in space. We're spinning around 1,000 miles an hour. We're 93 million miles away from the sun. You got the geocentric model, and then I forget the other one. But according to what you saying is, if that was the case, that means the Earth is way bigger. When I say way bigger, I mean millions of miles bigger than what they say it is.
Uh-huh.
It's way bigger. Like the if the math is correct on this, from what we're looking at, that means the Earth is millions of miles in circumference.
That could be possible.
That's the only way to explain. Okay, you say yeah. Well, it could be a curve. Yeah, it could be a curve that far. Yeah, you're right. That means we way smaller. We on a way smaller section than what they say it is. The math don't add up. The math ain't mathing. Is what I'm trying to explain. So even 350 miles. What's 350 miles on this calculator? 350 miles is 81,000 feet of curvature, or 15 miles. So if you're just standing right where you're standing, if you can see for 350 miles, if
Go
you
ahead.
can see from where you are to 350 miles, according to the ball playing Earth, there should be 15 miles of drop off, or 81,000 feet of curvature.
According to those calculations.
According to these calculations. According to these calculations. So, the math ain't mathing, bro. That's all I'm saying. The good book say, we ain't moving, we on a plane. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient Greeks, all the ancient cultures is showing that we're not living on what we say we're living in. So then you go into level 2 stuff. So okay, so let's just say the earth is flat and we live, and I'm the model of what I'm explaining is correct. That means what we think of. So what's past Antarctica? If we can just keep going, if you just kept going straight, you take from point A to point B. If you kept going straight.
Well, according to the logic,
go ahead.
According to the logic you presented tonight, either you're gonna fall off or hit something, or close.
You're not gonna fall off, so you should think about space. You're not gonna fall off. So let's just say it just keep going indefinitely. So you remember the movie The Matrix?
Right.
You remember when they loaded them into the board where it was just all white?
Mm-hmm.
So just think of that.
Like a void.
A realm is more accurate. We live in a realm. We don't live in what you think we live. So basically, see, it get to a whole nother level.
I understand. Might do a part 2.
Yeah, I'll do a part 2. What our time looking like? What my time looking like?
We've been on about an hour and 10 minutes now.
Okay,
but
yeah.
My big question is, which I know you can answer, and Rush the Truth, she fell asleep. What would be the reasoning behind telling something?
What will be the point in lying about, okay, or do we live on a, what will be the point in lying?
Yeah. Not saying they're telling the truth. I'm just saying if it is a lie.
Why would they be going out their way this hard as far as faking space missions, faking moon landings? This stuff has cost billions of dollars. Yeah, I know it's funny. We don't want to talk about stuff like this. It's fringe information. But I love that question you asked, because you're like, well, what's the point? Well, why are they faking it? What's the point? What's the point even knowing where you live, right?
Right.
The point is power. It's called power.
Power. If you want the real information, you come to us. Oh, we got the information. We telling you what it is. You talking about the power somebody has to tell you what your reality is actually is.
No, wrong. The power in resources. So hypothetically, let's just say I'm correct in my model, right?
Right.
And let's just say there was much more land out there with gold, silver, diamonds, oil. But I kept you in the fence. I kept you in the house, but I'm out here, getting all these resources while we stuck in the fence. We stuck on the plantation.
Right.
It's power, resources. Unfortunately, I hate to say, power, resources, it equals money.
I understand that.
You know what money equals?
I guess you would say power.
power. It's a reciprocal circle. So yeah, so basically we go ahead.
But before all that, well, I guess, it's always been some kind of form of currency or some kind of barter system. But I guess I would say that's, we use it to survive, but that's something that man came up with, the way we make transactions and all that kind of stuff like that. But at the beginning stream, you saying like the ancient, I don't know, you said Egyptians, the people back in the day, they determined it was flat.
I'm about to pull it up. Give me a second.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got Duce breaking it down. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We got Duce breaking it down. The flat Earth. It's a firmament. Antarctica is the edge. Is infinite. So, you're gonna continue to break it down. We ain't gonna hold you much longer, but flat Earth.
Share my screen. This is what they described as the realm they live in. So if you equated this to the Bible, the good book, this is your, I know it's showing this, click this to make the post. No, I ain't doing all that. So if you look at this image here, the blue lady that's hunched over the whole thing, that would be equivalent to your what you call the firmament or the dome, right?
Mm-hmm.
That lady laying on the bottom is the land. Them two people on the outside, that's your sun. That's your sun and your moon. So these are just depictions of, okay, this is where the humans live. No, actually I'm wrong. The people on the outside, I don't know what that is. It's the two things on the inside. One is the sun, one is the moon.
Right.
One is the sun, one is the moon. Why were they depicting stuff like this? Why did they understand it like this and we understand it like the way we do? Because of science, because of technology. Okay. I don't believe none of that crap. I'm sorry. Would have been lied to so much that you'll be a fool to believe everything you see. Not everything. Actually, you'll be very smart to believe what you see. You'll be a fool to believe what you hear. Or what they telling you.
Yeah, be careful now. Be careful now, because we hearing what you saying too.
Yeah, I agree. So
okay.
These are all your different hold on. Where that image at? I'm trying to find images. Hold on.
All right.
Let's see if I can zoom in here.
But while you're doing that, I like to check in with Rush Truth. You got anything about what's been said so far? What's been what's been happening?
No. I mean, I know I dropped off for a little bit. I was looking up some stuff for my own side, but somehow I lost you guys. But I found some stuff to try to, like I said, I'm not. Of course, I'm a firm believer in the Bible and everything. So a lot of this stuff is different to hear. And even though I've heard some of it before, but I did find some things like, there's a couple of channels on, Telegram. If any of you, well, I know Duce has heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a lot of stuff on there that you can't find typically, like on YouTube. YouTube and even Google has censored a bunch of stuff. And normally we all know, like, if they start censoring stuff, to be suspicious of it. So, but I found a couple of things on there that, to give I sent them to Duce. I don't know if he's able to share them, but to give a more clear depiction of the route he was going, or what he was trying to put out there, explain.
Yes.
So it was a bit more elaborate. Still in lines with the Bible, looked like someone actually took the verses and drew it out. um, in a more um detailed illustration. But like I said, I mean, like, we've been lied to before. They lie to us every day. For why, we don't know. All we can do is try to figure out to to the best of our abilities.
Share my screen.
So
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
So these are all your ancient depictions of where we live.
Okay.
Does any of this look like uh what they've been teaching us for the last 100 years?
I'm gonna say no.
Does does this look like a plane with a firmament around it or a dome around it? Again, the Hebrew, the Norse, the Mayans, all the ancient people of the earth seen where we live as the same, basically the same thing. Japanese, Navajo, the Indians, pretty much Sumerian. So from the Bible to the Chinese, whatever they believe, the Buddha, whatever they believe, they pretty much had the same depiction of this realm we live on. The Hebrew Bible, you see the sun and the moon inside the dome. And it says what is above the firmament.
I see that.
I'm not making this up. This is the data I'm looking at. I wish they wasn't lying. I mean, I really do, but I'm seeing the exact opposite according to everything I'm looking at. So, the
Hey,
reason
well,
they lie.
Go ahead. I said no. That's why we're here to promote thought. To see, come at this thing a different angle, see what we got.
I don't believe we live in no globe, no ball, none of that crap. I just can't believe it. It is a bunch of bull crap, man. But go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
it might be a stretch, but to me, like, and even just looking at all the depictions right there, it kind of resembles the Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
So whether it's the Bible, whatever your belief is, whether it's the Bible to the Hebrew, to the Mayan, to the Japanese, Sumerian, all your different ancient cultures depicted it's not, we're not living in no space. That don't even make no sense. That don't even make no sense, man. You can believe it. You gotta have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Otherwise, it don't matter. You're right. It doesn't matter. What does it matter? That's the question. That's a good question you got. You asked me earlier. Why does this matter?
Yeah.
I don't have the answers to that.
Yeah. Yeah, neither do I, but I would, assume that it's a reason. No, but like I said, we don't have the answer to that. But, if it is a lie, which it possibly could be, because usually there's a reason behind every lie, if it's a lie or false. Or maybe we might perceive it as a lie, and maybe that the lie presenter wasn't lying. Actually, they was just incorrect. Maybe could that be a thing? So they convinced themselves that it's round, so that's what we teaching our people. And maybe they're not lying. Maybe they're just wrong.
I don't know about getting it wrong on across the continent like that. I think it was if it's to that magnitude. No, but I mean, like it like I've never seen any other. This is the first I've seen where other cultures pretty much had the same depiction as what we were looking at before. So I mean, because think about it. Like even with a lot of caveman drawings, and even the what is it, hieroglyphics and stuff. I know one of the biggest things that a lot of people or a lot of scientists have noticed is like things like dragons.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't say anything about dragons. But you even have in Chinese culture dragons. Like again in the just across on a bunch of different continents in history and stuff, a lot of them depict dragons. But so what if dragons are real? So, or they're trying to tell you no, dragons aren't real, but obviously they had to have existed because you see them in a bunch of historical elements across the world. So it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. I mean, of course, call it conspiracy theories, call it alcohol, whichever one. But it's 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 possible that that they could have all gotten together and were like, look, we're going to suppress this. We don't want them to actually know because it's too powerful. They might, who knows? I mean, will we ever find out? Probably not. But it's too much. There's no such thing as a coincidence with stuff like this, in my opinion. Maybe onesie twosies, but not to that element.
Uh-huh.
In my opinion.
I understand that. You on mute, Duce.
We'll go down the rabbit hole on this part 2 later on. We'll then I'll show you what's going on around the Earth.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll let you present this one thing. Did you have anything to say about this before we get up out of here? There's a piece of material.
This right here is the Bible's version of the Earth, which is explaining. So you got the sun and the moon on the inside order. The moon, according to the Bible, is the lesser light, and the sun is the greater light. The firmament going around, and the Bible says is what the Bible said is the freaking hold on. What the Bible said?
I can't remember. I remember you bringing that up at the beginning.
It said
Now, I will put this out there real quick before I forget. Looking at the diagram, it shows hell as being, or maybe it was a diagram I was looking at.
Sheol.
All right, no.
All
right, so
home, great deep.
So it was a diagram that I was looking at earlier. It's kind of similar to this, but it had a lot more illustration to it, a lot more detail to it. I'll try to have it for next time.
Okay.
If you go into part 2, but basically, because like in this depiction, it says windows, portals, right? So, in reference to the illustration that I pulled up before, it shows hell, and there have been people that stated that they have found gateways to hell.
Oh wow.
If you you can look it up. There's they have, I can't remember how many that they found, but one of them they recorded like the wailings and the screams that they said that they heard coming from hell. So I mean, it's the stuff that it's in our faces a lot, but again, we've just been numbed down to just brush it off as make believe or sci-fi or
right,
cool looking stuff, not necessarily anything that holds any weight, because again, it's nothing that we were necessarily taught until until you later on you start finding stuff out for yourself, going down the rabbit hole per se. But no, I was just gonna throw that out there as far as the portals or the gateways to hell. There have been reports of that, or people have come out and spoken about it.
Definitely interesting. So Duce, I appreciate you presenting your facts tonight, and Rush of Truth coming through and giving your opinion and your thoughts on what was going on. And I learned something tonight, some different point of views, some different ways to look at some things. So yeah, I appreciate you both. And I know this might be a little different, just talking to the people in the chat and people that's watching on replay. Might be a little different from the regular scheduled programming, but we're gonna get back to the happenings, what's going on in the media and all that stuff like that, and then we're gonna be back to that. Then I think maybe after we do a regular, well, I guess whatever you consider to be a regular show, we're gonna come back to this on part 2, just to tie in the Rush of Truth was saying that the gates to hell and all this kind of stuff. Y'all got any shout outs, anything?
I don't.
All right, well, we appreciate you. And we definitely gonna catch everybody on the next one. So just let me close it out. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Y'all make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe. Let us know in the chat what you thought about it. Is the earth flat? Is it round? And we're going to be back for another one. Appreciate you coming on through.